here with
Chris Brennan.
Chris Brennan. And you are a coach at Syndicate MMA.
Yeah, I'm the head jiu-jitsu coach at Syndicate MMA.
What can you tell me about Tyler, the chosen one?
Tyler's a gifted athlete. You know, he's always been fantastic at everything he does. His brother and I have called him the chosen one since he was probably 11 years old.
What's the difference between a father and a coach?
I think I've been able to coach him better being his father. I'm just a lot more dedicated to making sure that he gets the proper everything leading up to whether it's a wrestling match, a jiu-jitsu match, or an MMA fight.
Guys, we're working on the clinch right now, okay? Time, real quick. So remember, we talked about your specific drills. If your partner's not doing it a specific way and doing it completely wrong, guess what? It's gonna feel different. I went around to 3 groups, everybody's like, I don't get it. You're not doing what we just did. So here's the deal, and we can go ahead and add this in. If Vince doesn't move when I shoot, and here, where he holds his ground.
me appetite, give me hope that the afterlife always never past tonight. Give me happiness when I found the fame. Give me music that doesn't all sound the same. Give me something that I can look forward to. Give me humans that I can get closer to. You look down at me, but the next thing you know, it's you. With the rent overdue, give me a little bit of peace. Give me peace of mind, give me peace of you. Also get a peace of mind. Give me something to do when there's nothing to do. But when I can't show, really just fuck it up.
I'm here with Tyler, the chosen one. Brennan, what's up, man?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing? So first of all, you gotta be honest with me, man. How did you get the chosen one, or did you choose yourself?
So that one was given to me actually from, it started in jiu-jitsu
Okay.
when I was a lot younger, because I went like a year and a half or 2 years without losing a jiu-jitsu match, and I just kept, and we competed all over the country. We were bouncing to California, Arizona, and just kept winning. And my dad and brother would say I could trip, fall, and land with a gold medal at a jiu-jitsu tournament. So they were like, the chosen one is like the nickname to go with. And
okay.
it kind of just stuck from there.
All right, that's what's up, man. Hey, man, so you're one of the, I want to say one of the best gyms in Las Vegas, if not one of the best gyms in the world when it comes to mixed martial arts.
For sure.
How is it, being under the wing under, first of all, your dad, beast of a fighter.
Yep.
When he had it, and then with John Wood.
It's been pretty awesome. We were splitting time with our gym back home, but after training here for my first fight camp, I was telling him like the confidence you get from training in a gym like this, like training with guys who are in the UFC or have 20-something pro fights, and I'm getting ready for my second amateur fight. It's like there's no way that this guy's going to compare, and like having a coach like John who's working with the best in the world in my corner, it's pretty awesome.
Right. When did you realize that you're like, oh God, oh shit, man, this is not a hobby, this is actually going to be my lifestyle?
I would say before I actually like fought, I decided to wrestle some extra years in college, or an extra year, and because I wasn't sure if I was ready for that like jump over yet. But after the first fight, I was like, oh yeah, like definitely committing to this, like moving out here, and like you definitely see it being more than just like fun training.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool, man. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
24.
24.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this could be a serious question, but I don't know. You could take it how it is. When has it been the hardest part in your career so far?
In my fighting career?
In your wrestling career, BJJ career, or in fighting career?
I think my hardest like year frame would have to be probably my junior year of college, like wrestling in college.
Really?
Yeah, I had some like little injuries that I kept getting, and it was like a lot of little things that almost made me wonder like, would I be able to fight after? Like I had a few knee surgeries over the span of some time, and then like a lot of different cuts and bruises. I was like, man, like I don't know how my body will hold up, but then I've kind of just been good since then. So it's like a year phase of like, holy crap, and then now we're good.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool, man. You said you had injuries, man, when you were into like college and things like that. nothing crazy, right? Like nothing crazy that you're dealing with right now, or nothing.
No, nothing really messes with me anymore from then. So all
That's
good.
what's up, man. That is what's up, man. But yeah, man. You know, honestly, I think everybody could relate. You know, I think if you're an athlete going into college, that has to be one of the worst things that you could possibly get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like people kind of don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever doubted this path? If be real if you can. Have you doubted?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hard sport. It's something you look at, and even like a lot of people watch the UFC every weekend. They're like, "Oh, this is so much fun to watch."
Right.
It's hard to watch as the guy you're going to be in that cage
Right.
eventually, and you're
Right.
watching people
Right.
get flatlined. You're like, "Man,
Right.
that looks terrible," and you're like,
Right.
"But the opposite side of it, like, that's why everyone has their game plans and
Right.
stuff. Like, you can prevent that from happening." But there were times, and that's partially why I decided to wrestle in college. Like, my brother started fighting at 17,
Right.
and I was like,
By the
I'm
way,
gonna keep
a
doing other
beast
stuff.
of a fighter, man.
Yep.
Bellator.
Mhm.
I don't want to say anything much. I was talking to him, but he is cutting weight.
Oh,
let's,
yeah.
Let's
He's trying
let's
to,
wait
trying to get busy.
He's trying to get busy, man.
Yeah.
What is he? 12 and 0? I mean 12 and
11 and 2.
11 and
currently.
2.
Yeah, he got up to 9
Man.
and 0 through Bellator, and
Yeah.
then with them selling and stuff, had to bounce around a little. But
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. All right, man. So I do want to talk about your amateur career and the Tough Enough, right? If I'm right.
Yep.
Tough Enough. You finished your fight hecka quick, man.
Yes.
I think what's crazy? Like, you were in the main event and they were talking about you.
Mhm.
That's how what's going through your head when you're when that gate closes. You know what? No, what's going through your head when you're getting your hands wrapped? Because that's what.
So,
Yeah.
funny story. Not to change your question.
Yeah.
We don't wrap our hands at all.
And
Me and my brothers never have, and because we're trying to be the jiu-jitsu guy, and it's hard when they wrap up to your forearm, you can't really like roll your wrist as much. So we're in the back, and the guy was trying to give me tape, and I was like, no, and he goes, okay, well, legally we need you to put on something. So they put one strip of gauze right here, and we put a piece of tape on it, and the guy signed it. But mindset, I guess, when the cage is closing or when that's happening is really just, I try and envision what's going to happen, and then just everything that my dad and John and those coaches say to like make sure I do and focus on. So I don't get too like, rah, like it's time to fight. Let's fucking get like, or sorry, let's go and like crazy. So
that is crazy, man. Because when I fought, was taping my hands. It's just funny story, man. I don't want this to beat up on me, but one of my fights, the doctor, I guess, was kind of new, and the job, I should say, when it comes to sports, and like he goes, your heart rate is off the roof. I'm not gonna let you fight, man. Oh my God, I never seen this heart rate before. And then he was like, maybe, doc, because my opponent is sitting right next to me.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and then my opponent starts laughing. He goes, man, we just want to fight, man. Just get the shit.
Just wrap it. Yeah, let's go.
Just wrap it. But that's actually, that shit's tough as fuck, man.
Oh yeah.
So you planning to keep competing with Tough?
Yeah, that's what I plan to do for my pro debut. Looking at a June card, but
a June card. Nice.
Yeah, it's just a lot easier. We were looking at some or different opportunities and stuff, just to kind of see. But I like the fact that it's really close, and I'm training here, so like I don't want to have to fly. Like my first amateur fight was back in Texas, so I trained here, then flew back, did another week there, flew back here. It was just I would rather stay close. Right.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you're an amateur, man.
Oh,
I mean, I think when you're an amateur, you're not getting paid.
Oh yeah. I don't need to be flying everywhere.
You don't need
for
to be
an amateur
flying.
fight.
I remember that I used to fly, and that was just the worst mistake of my life. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So, you right now you're 2-0 amateur. Which you're training with professional guys, top-notch guys in the UFC, PFL, and Netflix card.
Yep.
How long are you planning to stay an amateur? Because I feel like your skill set, dude, you could be a pro tomorrow.
So that is currently the plan now, is for that June card will be my pro debut.
Okay.
A big part of it, we were talking about doing another amateur, but we went through so many opponents here in Vegas. It was like everyone was saying no. And
you're a beast, dude.
Yeah, and I didn't have an opponent until like a week and a half or 2 weeks before the last one. So it was like, we went home that night and we were like, all right, next one's pro. Like, let's just not waste our time with that again. And,
Right.
Start getting paid.
Here's a dumb question. I mean, you don't seem like an angry guy, but who knows, man? Looks, you don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Do you fight better angry or calmer?
100% calmer.
Really?
Yeah, and everyone, even in here, always asks, like, if I'm trying or if I'm like doing something, but like, because I always have a very calm like expression, but it's like I am trying. I'm just not very like pissed off about it. Like,
Right.
And I know what I'm
Not
supposed
like
to
Kenny
do.
Cross over here yelling like top of his lungs.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
he'll
bro,
be screaming.
get the heck.
He's an interesting character.
He is. But he's really sweet, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's one of my favorite guys, you know. And so, and that's something that I wanted, you know, to add because you know, I got some footage of you, you know, your training and things like that, and you weren't even breathing hard, and I had to ask you, are you even trying, dude? And then he was like, oh yeah, it's just, you know. And I'm like, everybody's over here gasping for air. Kenny Cross is red, drinking with sweat, can't even barely get up, and you're like, all right, what is
It's funny you bring up Kenny is probably the one that will like push me to that point. Like he's
Right.
the one that'll go 100 miles an hour the whole round. So I'm like,
Right.
after those, I'm like, all right. Like,
Bro,
now
that
I'm
was an
breathing heavy.
intense,
Like,
you know,
oh yeah,
bro, and I caught that, you know, and I'm for sure gonna add this. You
we're
know?
always flipping all over
You
the
know,
place.
but
so
man,
keeps the
dude,
pace
you
high.
know, you guys are good training partners, and that's when I first laid my eyes on you. You know what I mean? You know, I did a video for Kenny Cross, did an interview, and then you were his training partner.
Yeah.
You know, and then I was like, you were doing moves that I'm like, what? And I'm like, Kenny, this is your partner. He goes, yeah, bro. I fucking hate it. And I was like, okay, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and bro, you're, you know, the way that you cut angles, and on top of that, the way that you get like a random hook, and you could flip over to a rear naked choke, or to an arm bar, or whatever, right? You know, and I was looking at it, and me and your dad were like, there is no way this guy's human. There is no freaking way, man. You know, and then so I had to ask him, man. I'm like, hey, let me get some of that gene, man. Whatever you're getting.
Yep.
But yeah, man. That's what's up, man. How long did it? Well, you've been training all your life, right?
Yeah, I started jiu-jitsu when I was 10.
10.
Yeah.
And you wrestled in college? Is that?
Yes, I started wrestling. I didn't really compete in wrestling until my freshman year of high school.
Oh, okay.
And then did that a lot, and then kind of jumped into college.
Okay, sweet. So, when you won your title and what, NCAA?
No, I won for college-wise.
Yeah.
I won the conference.
Conference.
My last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you compete for the NCAA, right?
That is a extra long story. I got kicked out the night before. So
Okay,
I was
I'm
in
sorry.
Philly for NCAAs, but
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
it
for
was this
sure.
whole eligibility thing, and
Yeah.
with the COVID year,
and that's
it got all
something
crossed
that
out.
that I was looking when I was looking at your reading and deep diving and stuff, and they kicked you out for something stupid, you know. Yeah, man, they should have just let you. I mean, you did 2 fights. Might as well. Bro, what the?
Well, and I was already 20-something matches into the season, and they were like, "Yeah, you can't compete." I was like, "Bro,
Right,
we are
right,
here." And
right.
It's, yeah.
Right. And question, I want to lead into this, wrestling stuff. You're a solid wrestler, man. Have you ever thought about? I mean, now I'm pretty sure they've been knocking on your door. RAFF. Have you thought about even competing?
I haven't actually really looked into it, but I know like a lot of guys through our manager and stuff compete for them, and some like random guys that fight cut over to that.
Right,
and jiu-jitsu guys. So I can definitely see it happening.
Yeah. Will you like to do it?
Yeah, I'd be interested in doing it.
Oh,
I mean,
heck yeah.
Thinking about it, once I was done wrestling in college, I always thought I would like never wrestle again, but gotta keep the doors open.
If the money's there.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard they're paying really good. So hey,
it looks like they put on a pretty good show, also.
Yeah, I mean, when you get guys like Dylan Dennis,
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see that one. You and Dylan Dennis, I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I like Dylan. I met him. He's a really cool guy, but he does rub people the wrong way, and I hate that.
Yeah.
And I
Part
hate
of
that.
persona, I
Yeah,
guess,
it's part of the
or just-
persona.
yeah.
Which crazy because I have also done an interview with Andy Varela, and he's just straight up and like, Brennan, I whooped that boy's ass, bro.
Yep.
And I'm like, I mean, what? Like in everything, basketball, boxing, you name it, bro. I whooped that motherfucker's ass, and I'm like, okay, sweet. Real quick, man, what are you scared of the most? Losing a fight or not reaching your potential?
I mean, when you go long term, gotta say potential.
Right.
Obviously, going into a fight, you're like, I really don't want to like lose this,
Right.
just like set yourself back. But I used to get really caught up in wins and losses, and I think wrestling in college kind of helped that. Like, you're
Right.
gonna lose unless you're one of like the best people in your division.
Right.
So it's kind of like got used to that and would rather reach your full potential than worry about winning and losing. So definitely would rather reach my full potential. Right. That's
Right.
one.
What's something better that you do better that you do better in your division? You think that's something that nobody really has?
Not many people like dive into the jiu-jitsu as much to get a submission, I feel like, and like attacking the back and stuff. They like control and they want to like punch you or just kind of smother a little bit.
I agree.
Or they just want to stand and bang the whole time.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I feel like in your shoes you could do both, dude.
Yeah.
And it's
My
and
dad
it's
would freak out if I was standing and striking.
yeah. I can picture your dad having a heart attack, turning red.
What are you doing?
The fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, and but yeah, man. You know, would you rather stay and bang or just jiu-jitsu wise?
No,
you know?
I mean, like, especially early on, like when I see amateur guys that just stand and bang the whole time, I'm like, you're just knocking years off of your career. Like your chin is getting busted every round, your face is cut open. I was like, I would rather still like be an exciting jiu-jitsu guy, like kind of change the image on jiu-jitsu. Like,
Right.
Make it where it's actually exciting, not just like lay and pray the whole time.
Right. And I agree because like I feel like that's the, you know, as fans, bro, we like blood.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we like blood. So for example, like when you see, you know, no disrespect, because if I ran into him, he could fucking for sure kick my ass like Hamzat when he won the title, and he just lay. You know, I feel like you can't really win a fight like that. You know, in reality, we all know that he won because he just put him in the ground and just not doing much. He's just throwing knees here and there. You know what I mean? But in your personal view, you think you could win a fight like that, or you know?
Like, I think I have the ability to make it like that, but I would not want to win like that.
Really?
Like, I feel like it's, and even for Hamza, like I feel like he could have done a lot more damage on the ground.
Right.
And he got to a point where he controlled him for one round, and he was like, "Oh, that was super easy. I'm just gonna do that for 20 more minutes, and I'm good." Like, didn't have to open up as much, and or like even attack a sub. Really, he just kept going crucifix, hit, sit, and I was like, like that does make it look like it's a bad image for the wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Like, nobody likes that.
Nobody likes that, you know. And if you see, have you seen RAF events? They're exciting, bro.
Oh yeah.
They're freaking exciting.
into
You
it.
know,
It looks
everybody's
fun.
so into it. Real quick, for the fans who are watching you for the first time, what can they expect watching you fight?
Not a stand and bang, unfortunately. But
But I am an excited fighter.
Yeah,
You are
technical,
excited.
like some good jiu-jitsu and like actually attacking a sub and like
Right.
more fun on the ground. Like I want it to be someone that like I don't shoot for the legs and you boo immediately. Like you're like, oh, here we go. Like this is exciting.
Right. But you just won your last fight as a knockout, man.
Yeah.
So it's
It was
kind
an
of,
accident,
it's
but it
kind
was
of,
good.
it's kind of,
Yeah.
you know, it's a double-edged sword. You know, of course, you know, if you see the knockout, why not get the knockout?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
If you see the choke, why not get the choke? You know, it's right. It's if there was a fight that you would like for you to, if there was a fight that you want, who would it be?
Probably a UFC guy.
Anyone?
Or just anyone.
Anyone. It could be a UFC guy. It could be a UFC guy. It could be a PFL guy. You know, I'm well rounded, bro. I love this game.
I don't know. It's really early on for like I don't know who's gonna be there by the time I'm there and stuff, but it's hard to say I'd want to fight another jiu-jitsu guy, so I'd almost want to fight like one of the top strikers in the welterweight division up there and just kind of see eventually like work up to that point. But
Right. If you don't mind me asking, like, you know, I don't want you to, you know, we don't have to speak about this, but who is it that you like rolling with when it comes to jiu-jitsu only?
yeah, like in here. Like just straight up jiu-jitsu.
Straight up jiu-jitsu. Your brother, probably?
Yeah, I mean we flow around the most. We're not really in a like try and like beat each other up phase anymore.
Right. No,
it's,
absolutely
like, more
not.
just
Is he the
fun.
oldest?
Yeah, he's older than me by a little over a year.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Right. Do you think you're ready for like the UFC right now, or you think you need more time?
I mean, there's guys that I've watched fight in the UFC, and I'm like, I think I could probably beat that guy.
Right.
Besides, like maybe the experience that he has.
Right. I mean,
So
why
I think
not?
there's a pick and choose. Like,
Yeah,
there's a
I
few,
mean-
but I wouldn't want to jump into that because there's so many guys that try and rush it, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna go straight to the top, and then they lose, and like they tried to go too high too fast, basically. And
Right.
I don't want to be one of those guys.
Right. A little piggyback on that question, man. On the last question that I gave you, have you seen a guy in the UFC that you're like, bro, I could beat this guy? Like, what the? I mean, I think we all have.
Yeah.
I mean, for a
I'm not even
minute-
sure name-wise, but there's some guys that I just see them like. Even jiu-jitsu guys that try and get to the ground and then they're just like falling off the back, or they fall off and then they're like getting hit on the feet and their shot looks bad. Like some things, and I don't know if it's just nerves from getting into the UFC or something, but there's certain fights for sure I've watched. I'm like, I could definitely beat that guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, man, I think you should try to, I'm just, I know I told you this behind the camera, but I think you should try look into Craig Jones Invitational.
Yeah.
Upcoming.
That'd be fun.
I think it's a 2-day event. It's an easy payday.
Yeah.
I think you would for sure. You will for sure. I feel like you would do something good.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Win like $1 million.
That would be pretty ideal.
Yeah,
but
$1 million.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So when you do jiu-jitsu matches, do you hate when people like slap you, like how they do that?
Yeah.
And then do you just slap them back as
it's
a
kind of
payback?
like I almost feel like I'm in their head at that point. Like, why are you slapping me? Like, you feel like you can't beat me just like straight.
And then the ref is not doing shit, right?
No, the ref always just kind of looks at you like blind. It's like, all right, whatever. Like, I'll deal with it.
Right, man. And that's something that it's funny because when I first saw Andy Rolla, I went to a jiu-jitsu, and then he was just, the opponent was just slapping him, and then Andy Rolla just went, he wasn't fucking around, bro.
He wasn't. Guy.
Yeah.
He came in here and I was like, I'd only ever seen him online, so I was like,
right.
For this guy's pretty mean. Like, well, kind of, I guess I'll see what he's like. Super chill. Talked for like 10 minutes. I was like, you're not at all what I thought you were gonna be.
He's
like.
not, bro. He's not. He plays
chill.
this. I told him this last time, bro. But he has this aura, bro, that when he walks into arena, just the whole world just shuts down. Like I've been to a couple fights, and I'm like, and we're watching a banger, bro, and I'm like, where did the fucking crowd get all quiet all of a sudden? And I'm like, oh, Andy Roller walked in. And I'm like, Andy Roller walked in, and he just with this hat, he's like, but sweet guy, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, cool guy, bro. Excellent mindset when it comes to jiu-jitsu, bro.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's training with you guys, but yeah, man. Who knows, man? I really want to see him into MMA, man. Like, I know that he told me last time that he wants to fight MMA, that he's been coming here, but
Oh yeah. That'd be cool.
What is the end goal for you? Like, what does it actually look like when you actually, what, I made it. I could probably settle down and have some kids.
I mean, I feel like everyone kind of has a similar answer to that. It's like UFC, like champ at that point.
Yeah,
is
right.
like the pinnacle of that. Really, just gonna take it a fight at a time and then get it.
Right.
Reach that full potential we talked about earlier. Like, see how high up I can get.
Right. Do you care? I mean, it's probably a stupid question, but like, the problem is that this question I'm about to ask you, a lot of people, have their own issues with it. Like, so do you care more about money or about, legacy and titles?
I mean, I feel like the money's just a cool side effect of like if you have that, like seeing like you're doing well, then the money's gonna come with it. Right.
So
I would rather not focus on the money.
Right. More titles.
Yeah. For sure.
If fighting disappeared tomorrow, who is Tyler Brennan outside of this?
That was when I was looking. I was like, that's a tough question to answer. It's like
yeah. By the way, guys, I like to, my guests, I like to show them the questions so they can see there's no bullshit.
Yeah. It's a quick peek, but I don't know. It's hard. Like, there's stuff we do outside of this, but nothing really that like, I'm not sure what I'll go into. Like, I do the coaching sometimes or in the morning now with jiu-jitsu and stuff. Right. But if all of that was gone, I would definitely need some time to figure out where I would go from there.
Right. Say it now, man. Who will you be? Where will you be at in 2 years, if that makes sense?
2 years, undefeated, and hopefully fighting for maybe a pro title at that point at Tough, or at least a fight away from it. At least a couple pro fights in.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not. What if you get a call from Contender Series? You would deny it? I mean, you could be real. I mean, Israel Adesanya denied so much titles.
Yeah, I think I would deny it if I was only at like 5-0. Right. If I was one of those early, like, they do let in a lot of guys now who are at 5 or 6-0, and even talking to like our manager and my dad, like a lot of them get in, they go 0-2, and they're out. Like, they got in a little too quick and they weren't ready for that jump. So I'm not scared to take an extra fight or two and actually work up before jumping into that.
Any message that people are sleeping on you right now?
No, I mean, I'm not, up there enough yet. Just with the 2 amateur fights, a lot of people that know me are like aware, but
right, man. Oh man, that's what's up. Why should fans be start paying attention to you today?
I mean, I'm gonna try and go get a finish. I don't want to be a boring fighter, and I think that would be a fun, like, you know, someone to tune in for. And
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. So, how is it? What is something that you dislike when you start training with other pro fighters that, you know, that kind of like rubs your gears, you know? Like, for example, like let's just say you get Dylan Dennis here. I'm not
Okay.
saying, right? Let's just say you get Dylan Dennis here, right? And let's just say that he's one of those guys who trains, but he likes to shit talk though. You know, so like, does that really rub you the wrong way, or kind of like?
No, like maybe a little. I guess it kind of depends, but like, okay, not that Kenny like shit talks, but he'll like scream, or like he might tickle you. He'll do weird stuff, like he'll yell. Yeah.
I was questioning, did he tickle you? So he tickles you a lot, okay?
Yeah, all the time. Anytime you like start to grab a sub on him, he'll just immediately like tickle you or do something weird to try and get out of it. And so that's not something like that bugs me, but it's like.
It's crazy.
Almost funny. It's like, what are you doing?
It's crazy because, like, you know, you were going at it with another training partner, and I guess you instantly hit him.
Yeah, we headbutted.
You guys headbutt. You're like, and then he just got in right away.
Well, I thought he was actually hurt, so I looked up, and then I just hear him go like, and he like punches his partner. And I was like, all right, he's fine. It's like whatever.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure, man. I feel like you and Kenny Cross, you actually have like a freaking show, man. It's hilarious watching you guys, man. You know,
he's definitely one of my favorite people to go with in here, just because he keeps the pace high, and he's like has a good attitude about it, and he'll he actually tries things. He won't just like shut down. So
for sure. I want to just, you know, I ran through all the questions, man. If we can, you know, we could talk about fights here, and you know, who do you got against, you know, in the White House card? We got Justin Gaethje versus Ilya Topuria, you know.
Gaethje's exciting. It is really hard. Like,
it's hard because all right, bro. So I'm Mexican, but I live in America. You know? And I always want to have the American back. You know what I mean? And we want the American to win, right? Like it's.
Yeah, there's not an American champ right now, huh?
There's.
It's just Gaethje's like the interim.
Interim.
But
yeah.
It's hard to bet against Ilya at this point. After he knocked out that many goats in a row.
Right. I think, honestly, it's going to be a tough fight because I feel like Justin Gaethje could get knocked out. I'm not saying that he can, but I feel like Ilya, it's too big for that. I mean, too small for that weight class, man.
True. Yeah.
You know, if you see him versus Charles Oliveira, Charles Oliveira was huge, bro. Huge. But you know, respectfully, I feel like it's going to be a fun fight.
Oh yeah.
You know, a fun fight.
I don't think it's going the distance.
You don't think it's going the distance?
They both swing to kill you, and they'll both stand there and swing to kill you. They won't like do the strategy thing really. Like they're gonna.
The co-main event, Alex Pereira versus Gon.
After watching
heavyweight,
we were live for the last Pereira and Ankalaev fight, and man, he's just really fun to watch. And Gon is gonna have obviously a lot of size on him, but man, I don't know. That's a hard one to pick.
That's a hard one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Pereira. I'll go with the underdog,
Pereira?
the small guy choice.
You go Pereira.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the Netflix card, man. You have a lot of training partners fighting in that Netflix card, man. Exciting card, man. So you got Gina Carano versus Ronda Rousey. I'm gonna say my pick, and you know, and if you agreed, and then you could have, you know, me personally, I grew up watching Gina Carano.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go for Gina Carano. You know,
awesome, perfect.
Gina Carano, not because I'm in Syndicate MMA and John Woods is here somewhere. You know, Gina Carano, in my opinion, even though that she has left the game for quite some time, she's getting into got into acting. You know, Ronda Rousey, she spent the most active fighter. You know. But me personally, I think Gina Carano. But yeah, I don't know. You know, have you trained with Gina?
Yeah. So me and my brother are kind of like part of her camp now. We train with her at like 9 a.m. most days.
Okay.
We do like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It used to be Monday through Friday, but she hits hard.
Yeah.
And like we'll be drilling with her, and she'll do some things and just kind of like land something. I'm like, that felt like one of the guys punching me just now.
Really?
Like, and I was like, that was pretty tough. Like, I feel like if she puts her hands on Ronda early, then she'll like shock a lot of people.
Oh man, and you think, and you know, this is just a training partner. You know what I mean? Do you think that after this fight, it's a one and done? You think we will see more of Gina Carano?
It's hard to say. I think if she like has a lot of fun with it, she might be open to it. And,
Right.
you know, just
Oh well, it just
wanting
depends
to
how
keep
the
training
fight.
here,
Right.
but
Right. That's crazy, man. All right, so we got Nate Diaz and Mike Perry.
that is
Yeah, that is a bloody, crazy fight. Me personally, I got Diaz, just because I grew up watching the Diaz, man.
Yeah.
I mean, who did not watch the Diaz? But there's a lot of things that Mike Perry could actually, you know, do, because Mike Perry is an active fighter. You know, he boxes, he boxed Jake Paul, and he also does bare knuckles. And he, if anything, like, you know, all the chips should be stacked on Mike Perry.
yeah.
You know, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll go opposite of you for this one. I will go with Mike Perry,
Yeah.
but it's a hard one to pick because they're both very tough, obviously, and like they'll throw down. And like Diaz is a hard person to like put away.
Right,
It's like it will be hard for Mike Perry to like, if he wants to finish the fight. Like I don't know if I see that happening, but yeah, I guess we'll see.
We'll see. All right, we got Francis Ngannou, and yeah, what do you got?
You know my pick.
Francis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, so crazy, bro. Like, I always saw Francis Ngannou. Never, you know, ever met him. I always saw him on TV. And I usually do interviews with some fighters over there too, with Extreme Couture. Shout out to Extreme Couture, you know. And Francis Ngannou, bro, he is a big fucking beast of him. Yeah, bro.
Like,
I'm not trying to sound too gay, right?
No. It was, so we were at the first press conference for that Netflix thing, and they did this filming day the next day. So like we saw Francis up on the stage, but I was never right next to him. And for the filming thing at this warehouse, he walks by, and also not to sound whatever, but he's just in these shorts, and it's like they sprayed something on him, and he's just huge. And he walks by me, I'm looking up, and I was like, no way is this guy, like, I would never let this guy punch me. Like,
and there's
I
no
would
way.
die immediately.
And like, you know, and I know his coach, Dewey, you know, and I told him, and he started laughing, and he goes, there is no way, there is no fucking way, Dewey, that Francis is not cutting weight for making heavyweight.
No.
He goes, and he told me that he cuts sometimes 5 to 10 pounds. And I'm like, bro, that is freaking huge, bro.
Yeah, just when we walked him, and then his opponent walked by, and it was like, and nothing against his opponent, but I was like, the size difference.
His opponent, is his opponent smaller than for?
Yeah, like just standing next to him, I was like, standing next to both of them. Like, I was like, one of them was like, holy crap, you are a big dude, like, stay away from me. And the other guy was like, I was also a big guy, just not that level. Like,
Right. And then there's a fight there, man, that nobody's really talking about, man. And, you know, they're talking about, but they're talking about the other guy, man. But, you know, we just mentioned his name a lot or this whole entire interview, Kenny Cross, man.
Yep.
You know, he is fighting a guy who's the #1 over there in Europe.
Yes.
#1 ranked in Europe. I guess he rejected a UFC contract, you know, a big money fight. But in my opinion, I don't know about you, but in my opinion, I think Kenny Cross is one of the most underrated guys who hasn't got in the UFC contract.
Yeah.
Fought in Contender Series, somehow won, right?
Yeah.
And cut weight twice, and still didn't get a contract. You know, I think personally, you could probably agree. You know, you're for sure gonna agree. I think personally, Kenny is gonna shock a lot of people, and gonna get either. It just depends how this card goes, because we don't know if it's gonna be more or just a single one.
Yeah.
Probably gonna get into the UFC after this. You know.
There are guys that like I train with in here that have been in the UFC, or guys that just like visit a little bit, and I'm like, Kenny feels better than a lot of them, and he's just such an athlete in like the way he moves on the feet and stuff. It's like, I can't believe he wasn't in the UFC yet. When I was here training, I was like, that guy's definitely in the UFC. And I was like, no, he's not somehow.
He's not. He
should be, but he's not.
He should be, man. Yeah. And also want to talk about your training partner who just got announced fighting against Diaz's
like prodigy kind of, like
prodigy,
whatever,
best
like,
friend.
Yeah.
He's a really cool guy though. I met him. He's a really cool guy. Yeah, man. So this is it's crazy, because I think I told you this, you know, they were really talking about him fighting against Andy Varela. Andy Varela stirred the pot when he decided to comment, so like, let's have a Mexican, and then blah blah blah, right? And I'm not saying that, you know, like Andy Rowlett for sure was gonna, because in my opinion he is a solid fighter, and I feel like that would be a bad matchup for the other guy to pick, you know, having Andy Rowlett fight him, right? But I feel like
Brandon Jenkins?
Yeah, Brandon Jenkins. I feel like that's in my opinion, a little worse matchup.
Yeah.
Because if you guys know his UFC career, he bangs.
And he doesn't like do it in a normal way. Like he strikes
Right.
very weird, and he's a hard guy to like
Right.
actually prepare for, because like the way he just kind of moves and like
Right.
you'll be training with him and you're like, okay, he's punching me, and then suddenly his foot is right here on your face.
Right,
You're like, how did that
right,
even
right.
get there? Like
And it's gonna be an interesting fight because the other guy has never been finished. He has 2 fights in the UFC, 1 fight in Bellator, and he does boxing, but he boxes in the Misfits cards, which is a bunch of influencers, you know. So it's gonna be interesting, but bro, I'm excited for this next one. I don't know about you. Are you gonna? I'm pretty sure you're gonna be there, right?
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, you're gonna be there.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you for your time, man.
Thank
you for everything, bro.
Yep.
I'm for sure gonna talk to your brother.
Cool.
You know, what is it? Next week, if anything, if I could get an appointment with him,
Yeah.
he's a big deal, man. All right, man. I'm Lewis, and
Tyler Brennan.
the chosen one, if I
Yes.
should say. All right, man. Thank you again, bro, and I'm ready to see you in your next upcoming fight, bro.
Thank you.
All right, man. Peace.